Marvel's Spider-Man for the PlayStation 4 not only makes you look and feel like your friendly neighborhood webslinger, it encourages you to think like him too. Right off the bat, you'll notice that the game fast forwards you into life as Spider-Man with the already established world, and no need to relive Uncle Ben's demise. The game feels like a mixtape that pulls inspiration from the movies, cartoons, and of course the original source material. Swinging in a Spider-Man game is always the main draw, but everything in Insomniac's take on New York City exists for you to either jump off of, run up, squeeze through, or launch off of to do it all over again in any order you please. The world around you becomes a musical instrument for you to learn and eventually master. Even when you mess up, it looks good, because Spidey's moveset can easily adapt to whatever is thrown his way. Run into a wall, no problem. Spider-Man can just turn it into a wall run for you to plan your next move. Play with walls, ceilings, streetlights, water towers, billboards, whatever you want. It's a lot like skateboarding, where handrails and curb ramps take on new life. Spider-Man encourages you to think 2 moves in advance, and make quick snap decisions to string together a dope mix of backflips, wall runs, and swings that adapt with the world around it. Specific collectibles and side quests throughout the world also challenge your mastery of traversal by tracking down pigeons mid-flight, collecting hidden backpacks, and landing on cars down on the street.
Those lunatics will kill someone driving like that.
What you learn getting from point A to point B will become valuable when you need to take out a handful of enemies too. That same playful observation you learn swinging through Midtown also comes in handy when surveying a room full of bad guys mid-fight, especially when they have different ways to rough you up, like shields, rocket launchers, or snipers in the distance. Each enemy requires a different approach, and again, that means always being 2 moves ahead. Is there a manhole cover nearby you can use to help you do some crowd control? Maybe a wall nearby to jump onto and leap off of to kick an enemy into oblivion. If you're on a rooftop, can you jump off and out of sight and swing around to flank them from their blind spots? The game constantly provides you with the colorful way to clear out enemies and feel like the clever freestyle problem solver Spider-Man always looks like in the comic books. A successful fight with a nice mix of different enemies can feel like an amazing improvised performance when you stick the landing. The Batman games have always done a great job of giving you enough mobility to utilize space and dodge accordingly, but Spider-Man takes that and adds in backflips, swings, capoeira kicks, and dazzling wrestling moves to the mix. Spider-Man saves enemies that get launched off of rooftops by webbing them to the side of a building for the FDNY to figure out. They might be left traumatized with a lifelong fear of heights, but at least they're still alive. It would not be a Spider-Man game without all of the sweet tech Peter cooks up in the lab too. Spider-Man has a nice array of gadgets, suit mods, and abilities that let you add a bit of method to the madness. Each gadget accessible through a handy radio menu can solve different problems depending on what you're up against. If you'd prefer to remain unseen for a bit, use the trip mine to trap any distracted guards. Need to quickly take care of armed enemies? Use the impact web and stick them to a wall. Web bombs are useful for thinning out a group of enemies just as you land to take out any stragglers. Suits also come with abilities that can be mixed and matched. My personal favorite is the Web Blossom, that lets you leap into the air and fire off webs in every direction to tie up anyone in the vicinity in case you need a quick escape. It's so much fun trying to execute a genius stealth approach, and just as much fun trying to get out of a botched plan. Either way it shakes out, you almost always have a solution that not only feels rewarding, but makes you look extra slick in the process. Even when you walk around, some pedestrians will show you a little love, and it's fun pretending to be that carefree superhero who high-fives fans on the street. Then you try your best to swing away in the coolest way possible so they cherish that moment forever. Marvel's Spider-Man leads into the silliness in a way that constantly feels refreshing and does a great job of teaching you to see the world like Peter Parker.
I will pull this car over right now.
Just make sure you keep up with your bills though.